I remember the look on her face, cold, rehearsed, professional. The same expression she wore when she fired employees. Only this time, it was me sitting across her mahogany desk, watching my wife pretend I was just another problem to eliminate. Effective immediately, she said, sliding the letter across. You are dismissed from the company. No tremor in her voice, no hesitation, just clean corporate execution. I didn't speak. Nay, corporate execution. I didn't speak. Nay, then may speak. Nay, Megan speak. Ned may was mixtures, medicines best, and as corporate execution. I didn't speak, and then major. I just nodded, stood, and walked out. She thought silence was defeat. She was wrong. Silence was preparation. We built that company together. From late-night takeout and caffeine-fueled plans to boardrooms and headlines. She was the face. I was the foundation. I handled operations, contracts, logistics, the invisible backbone no one saw but everyone relied on. Her sister Mia came later, a parasite disguised as family, always whispering, always whispering, always hits. Always aids of the ring, always aids again tall stendreed spells. Her sister Mia can later, a parasite disguised as family. She'd smile at me, but her eyes were sharp, measuring, dissecting. It started small, subtle changes in tone, small doubts planted like seeds. Are you sure he's being honest with you? I saw him meeting with a client privately. Maybe he's using your position for his own gain. And Sarah, my wife, my partner, listened. She didn't confront me. She didn't ask. She just drifted. 1 degree of distance each day until the woman I knew became a CEO first, a wife second, and a stranger entirely. The day she fired me, Mia was standing behind her, arms crossed, smiling like she'd already won something. I remember thinking, this isn't about revenge, but about betrayal's anatomy. It never comes as a stab. It comes as a series of soft, deliberate cuts until you're bleeding before you even realize you've been hurt. So, bleeding before you even realize you've been hurt. I drove home that day, parked in the driveway, and sat there for hours. I didn't drink. I didn't cry. I planned, because the worst mistake they made wasn't firing me. It was underestimating me. The first step was quiet. I called our attorney, my attorney rather. I drafted clauses, structured accounts, and built redundancies for years. Sarah signed them all, trusting me. They gave me leverage, controlling shares buried under subsidiaries, intellectual property rights under my name. Then came the audits, private ones conducted discreetly. I traced back discrepancies in marketing budgets, funds redirected by Mia's department. She'd been laundering money through shell vendors, using Sarah's authority as cover. Irony, really. She used lies to ruin me, and her own lies became my weapon. I gathered evidence, dates, transactions, fake invoices, every detail precise, undeniable. Then I sat on it. 3 days, long enough for Sarah's guilt to wane, long enough for arrogance to grow. On the 3rd day, she called. Have you reflected? She asked, her voice clipped, condescending. I have, I said. I'd like to meet. She agreed immediately, probably expecting an apology, a plea, maybe even tears. I met her at her ah. 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 Ah. Mia was there too, leaning casually against the wall like she owned the place. I placed a single folder on the desk. Thick, heavy. What's this? Sarah asked. Reflection, I said, and resolution. She opened it. Page by page, the color drained from her face. The financial reports, the traced transfers, the bank statements with Mia's name hidden in plain sight. Mia's smirk faltered. This is fabricated. Really? I said. This is fabricated. Really? I said. And this is Rob Bolslid and the Tart. I said. You might want to ask your legal department about the vendor signatures. They'll match Mia's handwriting. Sarah's hand shook. You are lying. Am I? I cut her off. Or did you fire the only person who knew how to protect this company from exactly this kind of fraud? I reached into my briefcase and placed a second envelope on the table. Crisp, white, final divorce papers. She froze. You're divorcing me? I met her eyes. Calm, contrace, calm, contrace, calm, contrace, calm, contrace, calm, contrace. You just didn't file the paperwork. The fallout was immediate. By the end of the week, the board was in chaos. The evidence I'd handed over went to corporate compliance and then to the authorities. Mia's accounts were frozen. She was charged within 48 hours. Sarah tried to contain it, but the story leaked. CEO's sister implicated in fraud scandal. Investors pulled out. Her credibility burned overnight. I didn't gloat. I didn't gloat. I didn't windowlud. I didn't I didn't visual load. I didn't load. I'd already moved everything. My shares, my assets, my freedom, long before she realized she'd lost control. The house, mine. The patents, mine. The silence, priceless. A week later, she showed up at my door. No makeup, no armor, just regret. I didn't know, she whispered. I know what she said, I replied. You just never cared to ask what I'd say. Tears welled in her eyes. You wanted me to fail. No, I said quietly. I wanted you to see, to understand the cost of blind trust in the wrong person. She looked around the house like it was foreign to her now. The same home where we built everything, now stripped of warmth. You planned all this? She asked. Not the betrayal, I said, but the recovery, always. She swallowed hard, realizing the truth. I was never just her husband. I was the man who made sure the empire could stand, even when she turned the sword on me. Mia was sentenced within months. Sarah stepped down as CEO. The board offered me a consulting role, but I declined. I didn't want control anymore. I wanted peace. Sometimes revenge isn't destruction. It's clarity. It's walking away while they stand in the ruins they built themselves. The last time I saw her was in the parking lot of what used to be our company. She looked smaller, defeated. She tried to speak, but I stopped her with a glance. Don't, I said. Some things don't deserve closure. I walked away without looking back, because sometimes power isn't in winning. It's in knowing you never have to fight again. She took everything I built, but I left her with a. Gilbert left her with a. I left her with a. with a bell. I left her with a. Balkan the whale is stolen well-loved left her with a kiss. And that's a collapse no CEO can survive.